William vanished on November 9th, 1991, at the age of 8, from McKees Rock, Pennsylvania. The last confirmed sighting of him was at 1600 hours, which is 8 o'clock, I want to say, when he was seen near his home walking with his fishing gear toward either Chartiers Creek or the Ohio River. Evidently both are nearby. The fishing gear was found along the creek behind an Eaton Park restaurant. It was about 100 yards from a homeless person's camp. I don't know if that means anything, because you'd think if there were people in that camp, they might have stolen the gear. You know, they wouldn't have left it there, I don't think. He wasn't reported for several hours. So police got a late start in the search. Not sure what that's about. Divers and dogs searched the creek and surrounding area extensively. And the search dogs reacted to a few things. It wasn't anything real good, and they found nothing in the creek. So they felt that if the idea of him drowning or dying in an accident there was slim, because again they didn't find anything. It was a Saturday morning, and he loved fishing. Heavy rain made it even more difficult for searchers, and I'm sure the dogs didn't appreciate the rain either. And the divers had zero visibility in the water, but divers tend to use more than their eyes anyway. He actually was reported missing at 10:30, because he hadn't returned home at 6:30, which means I was wrong about what 1600 hours is. Oh, okay. 1600 hours is apparently about 4 o'clock, because 4:30 was the last sighting. Unfortunately, the police tend to write in military time, and unless my uncle was sitting here, I don't know military time, so I apologize for my error there. His mother Alice told the police she didn't believe he drowned, and from what I can tell, neither did police. There were 150 rescue workers or more by Monday searching for him. 40 divers took turns. They would have found him if he was there. They began canvassing the city, looking for sightings. They were trying to come up with a timeline for him. Alice had spent Saturday night playing bingo, and it wasn't until she came home that she realized William was missing. She didn't attempt to search for him at all. The investigators weren't sure why she lied to them, though they suspected it was to make herself appear to be a more attentive mother than she actually was. That could be. How would she know he wasn't home at 6:30? I will say this though. My mother used to go to bingo on Saturday night or whatever, and my dad would stay home with me, and it was nothing for, in the summertime, for my dad to give me a couple of dollars. I'd go to the video store and rent a bunch of videos, watch videos, or go outside and play with my friends until it got dark. Come in and take a bath. I think when you're that age, and I was about that age, your parents tend to give you a little more rope, so to speak. I don't think it's unusual. He probably had older siblings at home watching him, or even his dad taking a nap and didn't notice. That's possible too, because like I said, my dad worked very hard and he would take a nap. But he knew he could trust me. He knew he could trust the other adults in the neighborhood, you know, because we had a very special neighborhood. There was 3 buildings all in one set of 3 driveways that were in front of each other, if that makes sense. There was a building on the street, There's a driveway behind that. Well, a driveway in front of that, but then there was a driveway behind that. Then there was the main driveway. Then there was another building, sorry, the main driveway, and then our building way in the back. Nobody was going to come in here to take a kid. And I don't find it unusual that he went fishing on his own. Maybe in 1991, but maybe not. Just to be clear. You don't know what kind of neighborhood he lived in. I mean, McKees Rock sounds like a tiny town. As news spread, police were overwhelmed with calls concerning possible leads. They thought William's family might have sold him to gypsies. Okay, that's ridiculous. That was one of the leads they got. They say that all the weirdos come out when you start asking for leads and like put up a hotline or something. That's when all the strangos. And that's a strange-o, alright. Also thought he might have been kidnapped by a pedophile, which is a little more reasonable. Detectives thoroughly investigated everyone. They traced down all the pedophiles in the area. One of his mother's friends said that he was a frequent visitor to her home. She saw no signs of any problems, and said that she felt that Alice was a good mother. And she very well probably was. She just was a little embarrassed. Yeah, I was at bingo, and was more than a little alarmed when I got home and he wasn't here. She might not have wanted to tell them that, because it might have made her look bad in her opinion. Because people are super judgmental of other people. There were a lot of tensions between her and the investigators. In May of 1992, it finally boiled over. Detective Donald Payenko, who was in charge of the investigation from the beginning, told reporters he believed William's family was hiding something, and that they hadn't told everything they knew about why he might have gone missing. Yikes! And Mom called him to basically say, how dare you, and yeah, it got bad. Mom didn't take a lie detector test. I don't. A lot of people say, oh my god, that means she knew she'd be caught, but I don't buy that. Lie detector tests are not admissible in court for a reason. So, William was one of 5 children, and there were never any allegations of abuse in the household. Again, it makes sense. She had 5 children. He was 8, which means she had teenagers at home. She went to bingo. So what? Doesn't make her a killer or horrible wife. Everyone who knew William affectionately referred to him as Willie. I hadn't noticed that, and I have to tell you that just warms my heart, because that was my father's nickname, Willie. So, his disappearance was tragic, but doubtful Alice had any part in it, is the quote that I'm reading here. Here's an interesting one. Scott Drake, an 11-year-old boy from East Allegheny, disappeared while riding his bicycle around the neighborhood on a Sunday afternoon. His mutilated body was discovered later that night, and a homeless man confessed to the crime. Joseph Cornelius was known to hang out in the area where the body was found, and he told investigators he had killed Scott after the boy tried to steal his radio. He then decided to mutilate the body so police would think the boy had been killed by a pedophile. And of course the case caught the eye of detectives in William's case. In the end, he was never charged with William's case. William was 4 feet 1 inches tall and weighed 50 pounds. He was itty bitty. Gray hoodie, gray sweatpants, and black sneakers. If you have any information about William or his disappearance, you can call 1-412 331-2300. Um, before I get there, I released 2 podcasts yesterday. One was an old one that I uploaded from Blog Talk, but it's not that old actually. It's one of the last ones I did before I switched, about missing Curtis Crosby. He's an older man that's missing after he was a Katrina evacuee. I talked to his daughters. The second one that I released, I did on my own, just introducing you to the podcast, introducing you to me and why I do what I do, and talking a little bit about the case of Sarah Pryor, which is how I got started doing what I do. Because I was 11 years old when she disappeared, when she was 9, and I just felt something, it was like, it changes you when someone disappears close in proximity and geography to you when you're a kid. Now, next time, on Thursday, we will be discussing the case of Johnny Gosch, Eugene Martin, and Mark Allen. That's going to be quite the case. All 3 cases I firmly believe are related. Everybody knows about Johnny Gosch. The other 2 kind of get pushed aside a little bit. And I want to spend time on each one. I actually have spent time on each one in the past. I want to continue to do that. I had them on my missing, gosh, not sure which Kidmissing TV it was on, but they were on there. And like I said, I firmly believe that they disappeared by the same hand. So those are all the programming notes. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you Thursday. God bless and goodbye, and remember, ask up and may.